Thanks to the supporters and channel member Joshua Selig. Well, I'm still not completely over what happened at the end of last season. It's going to sting for a while, I think, finishing level on points with Paris Saint Germain, but ultimately missing out on winning the title. And we've already spent all of our transfer money for this summer. So I'm not expecting a huge number of transfers unless we sell somebody, but we are moving into the new stadium. We do get to see Del Palacio Langer become a permanent player for the club. So there are lots of reasons to be cheerful. I think we are close to toppling Paris Saint Germain. We do need a good summer, though, to make it a reality. Hello, and welcome to part 88 of the Tour de France. I'm Kevin. Coming up on today's episode, we have our season review and transfer special for the season that just was. The season where we very nearly, but I mean, we don't want to see that. We want to go straight into the season review. As mentioned in the intro, we've already spent all of our money with the £50 million transfer, or 49 million, I think it is, record signing of Martin Del Palacio Langer, due to go through a little bit later in the summer. But we do move into the new ground, and I think it is only fair that we give this season a proper review because it was a fantastic season. Signing of the season has gone to Magothu, who joined us permanently last summer for £5 million, having been on loan, I think, a couple of years before that. Still only 23. One of the best goalkeepers in the league. I'm sure once Donnarumma retires, Magothu will take over as the best goalkeeper in Ligue 1. Played every match, 7.19. Lovely, lovely, lovely. Special note has to go to Kevin Laurent as well. 7.25 average over the course of the season, having joined us at the age of 24, never having played in the top flight in any country previously. He's just slotted straight into a team that almost won the league, a team that's been comfortable in the Champions League. That is a lovely piece of business. Obviously, Milinkovic coming in as well was a key player, one that we're building the team around, and Guema signed for us permanently last summer as well. And I think Bamba coming in on loan will prove to be useful as time goes on, and Costa joins us permanently this summer. So I think we had a really good transfer window last summer. The board expected us to qualify for the Champions League. We came about as close as you can get without actually winning the league. Obviously, a second place finish is enough for that Champions League qualification. We were so very far ahead of Monaco, even further ahead of Brest. It will be interesting if our performance in Europe over the last couple of years, winning the Europa League last year and then getting to the quarterfinal of the Champions League with both PSG and I think Monaco got to the knockout rounds at the very least. I would like to think we'll get our fourth European qualification spot back at some point, which could only be a good thing for the French league, something for the likes of Brest and Lille to fight over, as it looks like us, Monaco and Paris Saint Germain have pretty much got this top three sewn up and will have for some time, I would like to think. Finances wise, I mean, a lot of it is up. Some of it's gone down a little bit because we didn't win a tournament this year. Obviously, winning the Europa League gave us a boost on hospitality and match day revenue. More games were played, all that kind of stuff. But we had a massive increase in competition prize money. Getting to the quarterfinals of the Champions League, worth almost double what winning the Europa League is worth. So that is always useful. Broadcast revenue up slightly as well, as was sponsorship. And Afkir Omar sold more shirts than anybody. This was our team of the season. And I think for the first time in a long, long time in this save, probably the first time in 10 seasons at least, that we can look at that team of the year and say every single one of them is a permanent tour player this coming season. Magothu in goal, a back row of Simon, Say, Capital and Laurent, Milinkovic behind Del Palacio, Langer and Fowry, Benavides and Guema supporting Afkir Omar up front. Not only is it a team that are all permanent tour players next year, it's a team where nobody is older than 28 years old. Milinkovic and Capital, I think, are the two that are 28 years old. It is a team that's only going to get better. And all we really need to do now is just keep the flow of young players coming in. So when players do get to the point where we need to move them on, we've got someone ready to step in and take their place. And to be fair, we've done that over the last few years. Thomas turned 31. Milinkovic was ready there to just step straight into his shoes. Frey turned 31. Laurent came in and has filled his shoes perfectly. We've got several very good young centre-backs at the club ready to take over from Capital. We just need to get the next Milinkovic / Thomas ready so that he's ready to come in like 3 or 4 years' time when we start to look to cash in on Milinkovic before he's too old to get any money. Fans Player of the Year was Capital. Del Palacio Langer gets Young Player of the Year. So exciting that a player we're spending all this money on is still young enough to win that. Magothu signing of the season, as we know. Goal of the season went to Costa. Top scorer was Omar with his best goal return season of his career. Del Palacio Langer, 17 assists, I think is a club record. It's not, because it would show there if it was. But Del Palacio Langer also getting 8 man of the matches and a 7.6 average rating. Afkir Omar won African Striker of the Year. Yusu Say, African Defender of the Year. And Magothu, can't say his first name, he won African Goalkeeper of the Year. We just need an African midfielder. Although, as we saw a couple of years ago, it's not ideal having loads of African players because they disappear every other January for a month to go and play in the African Cup of Nations. So we probably don't want to bring in an African midfielder because our team's going to be really weakened in January, and I'm only realising it now. It is every 2 years, isn't it, that tournament? That's not ideal. Afkir Omar did break the club record for goals scored now, 116, breaking Big Fat Dennis's record. And at 24 years old and with no plans to sell him, that record isn't going to be broken anytime soon. This record, however, will be broken this summer. We set the transfer record at 10.3 million for Milinkovic last year, turning a loan from Paris Saint Germain into a permanent deal. We do the same thing this summer, but this time the price is £49 million to bring Del Palacio Langer in permanently. Our all-time best 11 is starting to look suspiciously like our main team. Obviously, Magothu now in there in goal. Cisse at left-back, who now plays for Auxerre, having left Bordeaux, played a couple of years in Ligue 1 with Bordeaux, and has now gone on to drop down a division, play for Auxerre. Deleste, I think we came up... Why have I clicked on tour? I think we played against Deleste this season. I forget who for. Angers, there you go. So Deleste having a decent career in and around Ligue 1, which is very nice to see. Matt Seamer went to Verona for 5 million a couple of years ago. Another example of us moving players on as they start to approach 30, cashing in on them, taking the money and bringing someone younger and better in to take their place. And Frey will be moving on this summer, hopefully, for near the top end of his price range in a similar fashion. Base of the midfield, we've got Thomas, who is yet another example of it. We sold him for 5 million, also to Verona last summer. So him and Matt Seamer teaming up again. And then Vaquero and Fowry are both still at the club in central midfield. Millet, of course, went to Brentford, where he got 13 Premier League goals last season. And it doesn't look like he's going to be available to come home anytime soon. If he signs for Monaco, I am going to be very, very upset. If Monaco have got £52 million to spend on him, I'm not only going to be upset, I'm going to be very confused. But if he comes back to play in France, he's coming back here. We need to keep an eye on that situation. Omar in as well, and then Bouzrara somehow clinging on to his spot in the all-time best 11. He's actually started scoring goals again the last couple of years. So I guess that's fair enough. We've done the season review. We've done all these bits and bobs. The club vision. Are they actually expecting us to qualify for the Champions League now? Still no. They want us to qualify for the Europa League and then start qualifying for the Champions League, despite us finishing second the last couple of years. And they are still looking for us to work within the wage budget. What does this mean? Spend the original transfer budget? I've never seen that before. What does that mean? Spend as much of the transfer budget made available at the start of the season as possible. So actually, I've misread that. They want us to work within the wage budget. They no longer want us to sign players to sell on for a profit. I've made that up entirely. They want us to just start investing money now, I guess. I mean, we literally have spent it all. We spent it all before the transfer window even began. But that is interesting. They want us to start throwing the cash around a little bit. The board is starting to show some ambition. I am on board with that. Fowry, Omar and Nguema are our team leaders. Plans for next season. Let's tell the lads we're going to qualify for the Europa League. They seem happy enough with that. We're also going to get to the knockout rounds of the Champions League, which also seems to please them. Excellent stuff. We know all about our next season team report, training camp destination. Let's go somewhere fancy. Let's go to the United States of America. And now we just sit and wait for transfers that are already prearranged to go through. So that's specifically the signings of Costa and Del Palacio Langer that go through on the 30th of June at the end of their loans, at which point we watch our bank balance drop significantly and we try and, I guess, sell Frey and hope that we get an injection of cash from the board. Now they seem so keen for me to spend money. By all means, board, give me some more to spend. Otherwise, we'll just sell Frey and look to reinvest that money, I guess. Facilities downgraded. That will never do. Let's improve the training facilities as well and just make sure that all of our junior coaching budget, basically any development stuff, we want that increasing. It doesn't look like there's anything else we need to fiddle with on there. So I guess we may as well ask for a new increase in transfer budget. Look, board, you forgot to give me any transfer budget. There's none there. I mean, they might fall for it. They're probably not going to fall for it. But you never know. They might fall for it. Let's just hit continue a few times, I guess, until something significant happens, because it doesn't look like they're going to be giving me any more money. I kind of want to just see the answer. They're not going to improve training facilities, which is surprising, because that is important. Our facilities are just fine, thank you. All right, Marcel. I disagree. We're supposed to have state-of-the-art facilities. That may indeed be true, however, if the opinion that the senior squad is strong enough, it's a moot point because no additions to the squad are required. You literally just asked me to spend... I don't understand this, man. We're not going to get an increase in junior coaching budget or an increase in transfer budget. Although apparently they're assessing the club's budget shortly, which is interesting because, as mentioned, I've already spent it all. So not quite sure what they're going to be looking into. I've just upset those two boys because I'm not really concentrating and I'm just clicking whilst chatting to you lot. So you know what I should do? I should press stop on the recording and, as previously threatened, return when something significant happens. I'm so delighted we've got this record. Tor FC record highest points total without winning the league title. Yay. Yay for us. Benavides isn't going to the World Cup, which is sad. We did get Capital in the team of the year, which is absolutely flooded with Paris Saint Germain players. Del Palacio Langer was runner-up for most assists. Omar, once again, winning best African player, which he just seems to win all the time. Runner-up to Erling Haaland on top goal scorer. Only 47 goals in the league for Haaland this year. What a selfish man. Only 4 assists. What an absolute monster. Donnarumma got goalkeeper of the season. I want manager of the year, please. I think more than ever I deserve it, but let's make sure we do the voting for the least deserving candidates in the appropriate order, as I have to vote. What was that team? Hold on. What is this? Stars team of the competition. And then there's also the 11 of the season. I mean, I don't know how they're different, but Del Palacio Langer got in that one. So we like this one better. We have had some players called up for the World Cup, though. Say, Magothu, Del Palacio Langer, Capital, and Milinkovic all called up for the World Cup. Disappointingly, that means Fowry's not made the France squad, assuming France are at the World Cup, which you would think they probably are. Have France made it to the World Cup? Otherwise, that's worrying for a team. The France are not there. Here, oh no, they are. There they are. I was going to say I did see them just now. I saw them. I promise I saw the word France on the screen. Considering we're looking to do a French only of sorts save, we want France to be one of the best teams in the world, and very sad that they've not felt the need to call Fowry up into that squad. Did Millet get the call up? No, neither of our boys going to the World Cup, but similar to the Paris Saint Germain situation, that French national team looks like it's going to need some freshening up sometime soon. So I expect Fowry will make it in soon enough. Other clubs in France, you're welcome. It was only 2 years we were down to 3 Champions League spots. In that 2 years, we won the Europa League. We got to the quarterfinal of the Champions League. Paris Saint Germain got through to the final of the Champions League as well. So they can take a small amount of the credit. But we have moved back to 4 Champions League qualification spots, all straight into the group stages, with the French League having moved up above the German League off the back of superior performance in Europe over the last couple of years. So that's the year when we won the Europa League. That's the year when the 2 of us got to the quarterfinals. And as you can see, significantly outperforming. In fact, looking at this, that's us, isn't it? French. the 33-34 season, the French league actually performed better than any other country in Europe. So it's not just us who've been involved in doing that, but we've made a big contribution. Germany, suck it. Oh, this has been a long time coming. We finally move into the very creatively named Tor FC Stadium with our 43,500. No, not four. That's how much it cost. 43.5 million. 25,000 capacity though, which if you look back at attendances last season, we were maxing out every match at 16,247. So for us to have an extra 9,000 or so seats has got to be a good thing. I'm immediately going to ask them to expand it to see if we can squeeze a little bit more out of it because, you know, we want to keep getting bigger and bigger. So that's good news. We've also agreed to sell Daniel Frey. Where is he? He's going to Spezia for £2.4 million. We probably held on to him a year too long, which is why we're getting less money for him than I think we probably could have got. Although, to be fair, we signed him on a free transfer and he's played 126 games for us and we've sold him on for £2.5 million at 32. That'll do nicely. And I think we've identified a replacement if we can get him in from Paris Saint Germain, which I know I thought this route was going to be closed to us, but they are willing to send this guy on loan to us. Yacine Antoine, a 23-year-old French former under-21 international right back, my kind of right back in that he is quick, which is all I really care about for my right backs. They're going to let us have him on a season-long loan with us paying his 100% of his wages, which is, I mean, he's at Paris Saint Germain, he's on a lot of money, but we'll have an optional future fee of £5 million to bring him in next summer. So he's a nice little squad replacement for Frey. If we can get him in, that will be very nice indeed to go along with Costa and Del Palacio Langer, who are already agreed to be coming in. And then we just need, I mean, similar to last summer, I think the only thing we need if we can find one is a striker. We lucked out this season just gone with Omar staying fit all year and having the season of his life, but that's not going to happen time and time again. Now, I know we do have Manktolo and Bamba, as well as Benavides. So Benavides could go up front in Omar's absence, and we can have these two competing for the left-hand side. So it's not essential we bring in a striker, but we would like to bring in a striker. Every other position, I think we've got pretty solid strength in depth. Some of these positions, absolutely bonkers. Let's just push this up to 2 stars. We don't need to get too carried away. I can't believe we've got 8 players capable of playing centre-back. Some of these guys are players that we are not planning on keeping around at the club. So we probably need to shift a few of them on. Why is it including our reserve players in this? Or have those players been moved up into the first team squad? No, I don't understand. I've no idea what's going on. Bottom line, you know we've got 5 centre-backs. I know we've got 5 centre-backs. We've only really got 1 right-back there with Frey goes, so we could do with bringing another right-back in. We still could do with a left-back. I've still got Hernandez in mind, potentially. We could probably use a backup goalkeeper if one presents themselves, and a striker. There's things we want, but we got no money, so probably not going to get any of them. Although we are now showing as rich, and we've got £50 million in the bank. So if the board want to stick their hands in their pockets, can we have better youth facilities, please? And give me money. Give me all the money. So there is your confirmation of the Del Palacio Langer signing. We actually, despite spending 49 million on him, have got an A off the fan reaction. I mean, you would be. He's been our best player for the last 2 years. Can we sell him now? That is absolutely absurd. If anyone wants to give us the top end of that range now, yeah, we'll probably take that. That's probably okay. Del Palacio Langer is a permanent tour player. We're also making a tiny offer for Clement Berard, who we've been chasing for a year, over a year really, but still not able to secure the signing of him because we have no money. We don't want to sign Tomiyasu because he's not French. My director of football made an offer for him and I had to say, no, thank you. He's not French. We've got a bunch of players leaving the club, so no one really significant on there. A few contracts expiring that we don't really need to worry about as well. The other significant news, the board have declined my invitation to expand the stadium. Apparently we've not proven we've got a fan base big enough to justify it yet, which I guess is fair enough. Are we knocking on the door again in October when we're filling this ground week in, week out. But they have agreed to improve our youth facilities. So we're spending another £5 million going back to state-of-the-art youth facilities, which is always good. There you go. Samir Costa is now a permanent tour player as well. He is in from Rennes. There's your confirmation of that. We also completed the signing of Yacine Antoine on loan from Paris Saint Germain for the rest of the season, or for the full season, for £1.1 million. He comes in as our Frey replacement, and the Frey deal should be about to go through any moment. So we'll just let these last few players who are heading out of the club, we'll let those deals go through, and then we can have a look at the state of the finances, especially after the Del Palacio Langer transfer. We'll have a look at the state of the finances, the state of the squad, and work out if there is anything more we can do. I suspect there probably won't be. The only potential thing we might get to play with, I have turned down £12 million from Crystal Palace for Vaquero. Vaquero is probably my 5th choice central midfielder. So there's an argument that we could take that money and then invest it in, what's his name? Berard, who we want as our backup striker. But Vaquero's homegrown. He's one of our boys. He's left before. We brought him back. There's the whole romance of not really wanting to let him leave. So I'm in two minds about whether we're going to do that. There's just a few of our youth players leaving here. There's Frey leaving. He remains a favourite and we missed around the club. I agree, but we had to cash in on him when we did, and we've already brought his replacement in. So it seems silly to get too upset about it. A bunch more of our young players on their way out of the club as well. And there's our offer for Theo Hernandez, who apparently we can't afford. You know what? He's £36 million. If we can't get him, 36 years old, sorry. If we can't get him for £2 million, I'm not sure I want him. He's going to be probably our backup rotation left back option with Simon for one season. I'm not that desperate to go and get him. Right, let's just shuffle that around so that we are within budgets. We can't actually get with it. We're not buying anyone, are we? Can we have some more wage budget, please? No, we cannot ask for more wage budget. Fair enough. Let's look at the squad, shall we? So, have we got anyone in the dev centre who needs moving up? Loic Labiel Cherald. Oh, he's the guy we signed in the summer. Yeah, we will move him up into the squad because that means we don't need to go and sign a striker now. And then Karim Dumoulin, we looked at him in the last episode or one of the recent episodes as another young centre-back option, so he can also move up into the first team squad. That gives us a squad of 26, which is a big squad. I think we can probably let centre-back go. If we look at what we've got at centre-back, now we've brought Dumoulin into the squad as well. I don't think Blin is going to make it. Where is he? Kevin Blin. Only 1.5 stars current ability, 4 stars potential. As much as I've got the dream of making a team of Kevins or even a back four of Kevins, when he's got Svetkovic and Dumoulin that he's competing with, I think we can probably let Blin go. We'll let him go out on loan for now. So we'll loan him out for the year. Someone's going to have to pay his full wages. But I do think there's an argument for letting Bertrand go now. Because we've got Capital, Say, Svetkovic, Dumoulin, and we want to give them all game time. He needs to come off the loan list. We want to keep him knocking about the place. The one argument for keeping Bertrand, which has been the thing that's allowed him to cling on for as long as he has, is the fact that he can cover fullback on either side. But do we need him to do that now? We've got Say and Simon for left back. We really do need another left back. Laurent, Antoine, Dumoulin for right back. Are we going to play him at right back? I mean, that's an argument for letting, but I think we let Bertrand go. I don't think we need him. I think we go Capital and Say. The one thing that worries me is if we get an injury to Simon or Capital or Say, am I going to be happy starting Svetkovic or Dumoulin against Paris Saint Germain or in a Champions League game? Or do we want to keep Bertrand around for that situation? Bertrand played 30 games last year, although he only started 8 of them. That game time would have been so handy on Svetkovic. He's 26. He's worth a lot of money. If we get anywhere near that, That buys us a striker. I think we have to create room. Hold on, let's take that asking price off him. Does he still want to leave? He still wants to leave as well. Okay. On the basis that he still wants to leave, let's try and get 21 million for him and see what happens. You never know. If we get 21 million for him, that's an absolute bargain. On the topic of centre-backs, by the way, Willy Camboala, Big Willy, as you would expect, is now on the transfer list at Manchester City. Wolves and Watford both trying to buy him, but at 29 years old and for £12 million more than we sold him for, I don't think he's coming back to us. Also, obviously, Boyd is someone we keep an eye on every summer with a view to one day bringing him back, but he's now 28 years old and Barcelona want him, and he's in the 40 to 50 million pound range. So again, don't think we're getting Stephen Boyd back anytime soon, but let's let Bertrand go, with the idea being that we want to bring in a new left back with that money more than anything, so that Say can really focus on being a centre back. And then in midfield, Milinkovic and Costa. Can Svetkovic play there? Not in the same role, so we don't really want to be thinking of Svetkovic in defensive midfield. But central midfield, we've got Del Palacio Langer, Fowry, Vaquero, Robin, Costa. Tayo Decore can play there as well. See, this is the argument for letting Vaquero leave. Especially because Milinkovic can also play there, but doesn't because he plays deep. Capital, Svetkovic can all play central midfield as well. And at 27 for Vaquero, 2.5-star current ability. He's been such a good servant for the club, though. But is there room for nostalgia when we could use the money? Problem is, we've just turned down 12 million. We don't want to offer him out for 7 million. I wonder if Palace are still interested at 12 million. A flat 12 million, and let's see what happens. I think we've got to do some business this summer. And then out wide, obviously, Benavides, Bamba, Manktolo is fine over there. On this side, I can't see me playing. I mean, is Rue going to play out? I mean, he might. We've got a lot of right wingers. Decore probably needs to become a central midfielder. We're not going to play Benavides out there. We're probably not going to play Bamba out there, but we've got Nguema, Decore, Rue, and Labille, Cheraldini. And then up front, we've got 5 options. So maybe we don't need a striker. Maybe we go with the youth up there because Rue has got 5-star potential. And on the same basis, we're looking to make room for Svetkovic and Dumoulin at the back. Maybe we need to make room for Rue to get game time this season as the backup for Omar. And then we've still got Labiel Cheraldini as well, who's probably going to end up out wide because he's only got 6 finishing. Probably need to get him training to play left wing as well as right wing and just use him as an option off of either flank. He's a right footer, so really I want him on that left-hand side. So we might train him to play out on the left. Then he's in the way of Mank. So, I mean, we've got decent options. Maybe we don't need a striker. Maybe what we need is a left back. And then I guess if Vaquero, I don't really want Vaquero to go. I hope Vaquero doesn't go. Yeah. I'll lower your asking price, Olivia. He's dropped his treated unfairly. Good. Right, let's just take that asking price off of him. No! Very nearly put him on the transfer list. That would have been disastrous. Right. I don't want him to go. Blin can go out on loan to either of these. That's fine by me. And then we just hope we get the big offer for Bertrand, I guess. And we use that money to buy a left back. This seems like a plan. Well, Watford are annoying because we've had both Sancho and Vlahovic, who have both been released by Paris Saint Germain this summer. Both of them have been in with us on trial. Both of them have agreed terms with us. Both of them have gone and signed for Watford. They've also signed... No, that's Paris. So Paris Saint Germain have signed Camavinga on a free transfer. How are we not in for... I mean, that's why £205,000 a week. That's why we weren't in for him. But yeah, Watford have signed Sancho and Vlahovic, which is nice. It's not often players of that quality become available on a free transfer. Watford are annoying. It does mean that we're no longer as far over our wage budget as I thought we were going to go. We still haven't been able to sell Bertrand. So at the moment, we're kind of stuck not doing any business at all. Blin has gone out on loan. Berard has... my mouse is about to die. Berard has had a £6 million offer accepted by Leipzig. And we just have no way of putting in an offer of our own, even though we've got a big pile of money sat there. Nothing we can do. Very upsetting. Well, after, 3 weeks of trying to sell Bertrand and no bites, we've had to let Vaquero go because we need to free up some money to be able to bring in a left back. He's off to Salzburg to, I was going to say to hang out with Big Willie, but obviously he's moved on. I'd like to think this isn't the end of Olivier Vaquero's tour career. I'd like him to come back one day. I think he is something of a tour legend. Over 200 games for the club across 2 spells. We've sold him on for a big profit both times. I mean, you can't really argue with it. I wished him well. It does free up some cash for us, though. So first of all, let's sort out budgets like that. And then I do have a left back in mind if he's still available. This guy at Paris Saint Germain. If we can get him on loan, which it looks like we can, optional future fee of £11.5 million. That works for me. That's a new left back coming in. Bertrand is on the transfer list, so hopefully we will get rid of him at some point. I think my thinking is Doucouré is going to become the 5th central midfielder if needed, probably in that role that Del Palacio Langer plays. I think he should be able to develop into being able to play that role. So I'm not, and obviously Milinkovic can go in there as well if he absolutely needs to. So I don't think we're particularly short in central midfield, having lost Vaquero. I'm toying with the idea of loaning out Labiel Cheraldini. He'll either be loaned out or he'll be spending the year training to play on the left wing, because I think Rue is going to be our backup guy who we're going all in on to try and develop into the next Omar. But hopefully we get this left back in, because then Say doesn't have to worry about going out to left back, and we can then shop for more youngsters again. I wish this asking price would disappear. We've taken it off, but because we agreed, I don't know where a promise is, because we promised to let him go if we got 21 million. I think this is why no one's making an offer for him, because we promised to let him go if we got 21 million for him. Clubs think we want 21 million, even though we don't. I'll take 10. I'll take 8, probably. I just want his £45,000 a week wages off the wage bill. So we just don't need him. He's in the way of 2 young players we're looking to develop, and we just don't need him. But no one's making any offer because they think we want too much money for him. Silly little game glitches. Well, we have signed the left back we were looking to bring in. Dominique Duff is in from Paris Saint Germain on loan for the season. He's not great, but he's better than the backup left back we had before, so that's fine. He's got potential to get really good as well. So exactly the kind of player we usually bring in on loan. That's 2 loans in from Paris Saint Germain now, which is a little bit of a shame. So I'd like to do a third, but we're not allowed. But it seems like their conveyor belt flows even better than ours does, because no sooner have they sold Del Palacio Langer than they've got this guy knocking around available to loan, who is just, he's another one. They literally just have another one that they spent £800,000 on. Their scouting network is pretty good, and it's frustrating, but we can't bring him in as well. So we will not. So that's all of our transfer business done for now. We did head off to Senegal to play in the Trophée des Champions, which we lost 3-0. Nice, comfortable defeat from Paris Saint Germain. We're not going to worry about that. They thumped us last year as well. And then we nearly won the league. The media think we're looking good for Champions League qualification, but almost the entire Dream 11 are Paris Saint Germain players, despite them releasing Vlahovic, Sancho, whoever else. And they're just stupid good. And it's still sad. We still can't sell Bertrand, so we have no money, really. There's a little bit, but realistically, no money to spend. I think one of the big bright points of the summer, though, is that Sylvain Roux seems to be developing very nicely. I think he will get game time and score goals for us this season. And we just need all eyes on him, on Labiel Cheraldini, Demoulin, Svetkovic, Doucouré, Manctalo. We've got a lot. We've got the next generation of young players coming through now. We've already got Fowry and Nguema, and of course previously Vaquero in the first team, who were that, I would say, the second generation who came through after the likes of Stephen Boyd and Michael Oliver, who came through early on. And I guess you put Vaquero, maybe. I guess Vaquero is with this group. Maybe he was part of the first group. I can't decide. I think this is our third great wave of young players coming through. Like I say, the players we listed before, all these 18, 19, 20-year-olds, and our job for this season is to get them into the team, because we can only afford to spend big on a player like Del Palacio Langer once a season, and we need more than one new player coming into the squad every year. So that's the plan. He's injured, by the way. You spend all that money on him, and he's injured. Absolutely fantastic. But we will see how we get on in our first couple of games of the season in the next episode. For now, I shall say toodle pips. If you have enjoyed that video, please make sure you leave a nice big thumbs up on there for me. Subscribe to the channel for daily Football Manager videos. And thank you very much for watching.